The morning light spilled over Sierranene's jagged peaks, illuminating the valley in a warm, golden glow. Captain Alara Singh surveyed the horizon with a mixture of awe and caution. The canyon's twists and turns stretched endlessly, and the rivers below shimmered like liquid metal. Their journey so far had tested strength, teamwork, and intelligence, but now, the land would demand something even more: coordination under pressure. The giant cowboy waited at the base of a narrow cliff, arms crossed. His towering silhouette cast a long shadow across the ground. "Today," he said, "you will see what endurance truly means. The planet will push you, and only together can you overcome it." The humans moved forward, careful on the uneven terrain. The cliffs rose steeply, jagged edges threatening every step. Loose rocks tumbled underfoot, forcing them to rely not just on their gear, but on each other. Milo, the biologist, tested a plant's fibrous vines, discovering that they were strong enough to serve as improvised ropes. Tessa, the engineer, smiled at the discovery. "Good thinking, Milo. We can use these for support. Nature is on our side if we respect it." The first challenge came in the form of a narrow ledge, barely wide enough for a single person. A sudden gust of wind swept through the canyon, pushing the humans to their limits. One misstep could send someone sliding down into the river below. "Hold the rope tight," Captain Singh commanded. Each crew member carefully fastened themselves to the makeshift vines, helping one another inch across the ledge. Milo's foot slipped briefly, but Tessa steadied him with a firm grip. Step by step, they crossed, their teamwork proving stronger than fear as they continued. The canyon walls narrowed, and mist rose from the glowing river below, creating a surreal landscape. The humans discovered clusters of crystalline formations that pulsed in response to movement, reflecting light in dazzling patterns. Milo recorded everything, his excitement barely contained. "This planet is alive in ways we don't fully understand," he exclaimed. The giant cowboy observed silently, nodding in approval. Humans adapt. They think fast, act fast, and trust one another. That is why you endure. By mid-afternoon, the crew reached a natural bridge spanning a deep chasm. The bridge was fragile, composed of stone and vines intertwined. "We must cross carefully," Captain Singh warned. She led first, testing the weight of each step. The others followed in precise order, communicating every movement. Halfway across, a section of the bridge shifted dangerously. Tessa quickly anchored it using vines she tied to protruding rocks. Milo helped distribute weight along the bridge, guiding the slower crew members. "It's like the planet is testing us," Milo said, "but we can adapt." Indeed, Sierranene seemed alive, constantly responding to their actions. Yet humans were relentless. Every obstacle was met with observation, planning, and execution. No alien challenge could stop them because they combined ingenuity, currents, and courage. As they descended into a hidden valley, they encountered the strangest challenge yet. A river of glowing liquid blocked their path. The current was strong, and no bridge or stepping stones were visible. The humans analyzed the river carefully, noting its properties. The liquid seemed to flow around objects in unusual ways. It's almost as if it could sense interference. Captain Singh looked at the team. "We can't go around. We must find a way across." "Suggestions?" Tessa examined the riverbank. "If we use the vines and crystals together, we could create a temporary bridge. But it requires precise timing and coordination." Milo nodded. "I can scout for safe points. See how the current behaves in small sections." The team worked in perfect synchronization. Milo tested and mapped the flow. Tessa anchored support points. Captain Singh coordinated movements across the makeshift bridge. Every step required trust and focus. After tense minutes, they reached the other side safely. The giant cowboy's deep voice broke the silence. "Well done. Humans not only endure, they create solutions where others would fail. That is why your species thrives." Exhausted but triumphant, the crew set up camp near the river's edge. They shared a simple meal and recounted the day's triumphs. Every member of the team had contributed uniquely, proving that cooperation was humanity's greatest strength. Night fell. The alien sky blazed with unfamiliar constellations. Bioluminescent flora lit the surroundings with soft, shifting light. Milo marveled at the beauty. Every challenge we overcome, every discovery we make, it feels like we're unlocking the planet itself. Captain Singh smiled. It's not just the planet we're unlocking, it's ourselves. Every inch, every step, we're discovering what humans can do. The giant cowboy standing nearby observed quietly. Yes, he murmured. This is the essence of humanity. Strength, intelligence, courage, and the ability to work as one. Other species may survive, but humans, they flourish. That night, the crew slept under the stars, readying themselves for the next day. Sierra 9 still held mysteries and challenges awaited beyond the valley. But for the first time, they felt an unshakable confidence. Humans could face the unknown, adapt, and succeed, not because of luck, but because of who they were. Morning arrived, bringing a gentle mist and calm winds. Captain Singh rallied her team. The journey continues. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn. Every step, a testament to our resilience. The humans moved forward, guided by the giant cowboy, prepared for whatever Sierra 9 had yet to reveal. They had endured the cliffs, the rivers, and the puzzles of the land. Now, they were ready to claim the planet's deeper secrets, and the giant cowboy knew, without doubt, that humans would continue to astonish not just him, but the galaxy. The final day on Sierra 9 began with a golden sunrise painting the canyon in brilliant light. Captain Alara Singh and her team felt the weight of their journey every step. Every challenge, every clever solution had brought them here. The planet had tested them endlessly, and they had grown stronger, smarter, and more unified with each passing hour. The giant cowboy waited at the canyon's edge, his shadow stretching across the ground. Today, he said, his deep voice carrying through the crisp air, you will see what your efforts have earned. But remember, pride alone will not suffice. Respect, intelligence, and teamwork brought you this far. They will carry you further. The humans set off, descending into the last valley. It was unlike anything they had seen. Cliffs rose like colossal walls, rivers shimmered in colors unseen, and the flora glowed faintly, illuminating their path. Sierra 9's final challenges were subtle but formidable, unstable terrain, unpredictable currents, and puzzles embedded in the alien landscape itself. They approached a massive structure at the valley's center, a natural amphitheater carved by centuries of wind and water. In the center glowed an orb of energy, pulsing rhythmically. It radiated warmth, light, and a strange intelligence. The humans had discovered the culmination of Sierra 9's trials. Captain Singh studied the orb. This is the heart of the planet, she said. Everything we've done, every step, every challenge has led here. We must approach carefully. The giant cowboy nodded. Treat it with respect. Observe, understand, and act together. That is how humans succeed where others fail. The crew moved forward in unison, analyzing the orb's energy patterns. Milo and Tessa worked together to align energy conduits they had discovered earlier. Every adjustment made the orb glow brighter, harmonizing with the surrounding structures. Hours passed. The orb pulsed faster as the humans coordinated, solving the final sequence of challenges Sierra 9 had presented. The energy spread through the valley, illuminating every cliff, river, and plant in a magnificent display. The humans stood in awe, realizing that they had unlocked something beyond imagination. Sierra 9 itself seemed to recognize their efforts. The giant cowboy's eyes gleamed. You have done what most species cannot. You have endured, adapted, and united. Humanity has proven itself worthy of this world. Captain Singh turned to her crew, pride evident in her voice. Every challenge tested us, but we succeeded together. This is what humans are capable of when we combine courage, intelligence, and teamwork. The energy orb projected holographic schematics of technology, maps, and knowledge. It was a treasure trove of information, but more importantly, it was a testament to the human spirit. Sierra 9 had demanded ingenuity, patience, and endurance, and humans had delivered. As the day turned to evening, the humans prepared to leave the valley. Their journey had changed them. They had faced Cyrenin's extreme terrain, mysterious energies, and ancient construct sand, emerged victorious. They had proven that humans could thrive where others failed, not through raw strength alone, but through intelligence, creativity, and unity. The giant cowboy watched them with a rare smile. You have taken every inch until you could not walk. You have learned the lessons of this land, and you have earned your place among the stars. The humans returned to their shuttle, carrying not only data and discoveries, but also a renewed sense of confidence. They had been tested by a planet that demanded the very best from any who dared to explore its hand. They had risen to the challenge. As Sierra 9 faded behind them, Captain Singh looked at the crew. This is only the beginning. Humanity can face the unknown and thrive. Wherever we go, we will leave our mark. The giant cowboy tipped his hat one final time. Remember, humans, courage, ingenuity, and unity will guide you further than you know. You are the measure of resilience. The spaceship Starfarer cut through the blackness of space, its engines humming with steady rhythm. Inside, the crew moved with quiet anticipation. CR9 had been marked as humanity's newest frontier, a planet at the edge of the Orion expanse. Official reports called it rich in resources and mysteries, but explorers knew better. A planet untouched by humans could be anything beautiful, dangerous, or both. Captain Alara Singh, the leader of the expedition, floated near the viewing deck. Her eyes fixed on the green and gold swirl of Sierra 9. We've trained for every scenario, she said softly, though the edge of uncertainty lingered in her voice. But a new world. Nothing can prepare you for that. Behind her, the crew murmured in agreement. Engineers checked equipment, biologists reviewed scans, and navigators ran simulations. The excitement was palpable. Everyone knew that, once they stepped on Ciarni, there would be no turning back. The landing was smooth, almost eerily so. The shuttle's legs touched down on a flat expanse of amber-colored sand, framed by towering rock formations that shimmered in the sunlight. The airlock hissed, and the crew stepped out, their boots crunching on unfamiliar ground. That's when they saw him. He was enormous. Taller than any human they had ever seen, with broad shoulders and a rugged, sun-baked face. His hat cast a shadow over sharp, intelligent eyes, and a long duster coat fluttered slightly in the wind. He carried a walking staff made of some dark polished metal, and every movement he made seemed deliberate, controlled, and effortless. The crew froze. Even seasoned explorers could not hide their awe. You'll take every inch until you can't walk, the giant cowboy said, his voice low but carrying clearly across the distance. It was not a threat. It was a warning like one might give a traveler about a dangerous mountain pass. Captain Singh stepped forward. We're humans, she said, trying to sound confident. We've faced extreme conditions before. We can handle this planet. The giant cowboy's lips curled into a faint smile. You think you can? Most don't, he gestured broadly to the horizon, where cliffs rose like giants from the ground, and swirling clouds of colored dust danced in the wind. Sierra 9 isn't just a planet, it's a challenge, and it will ask everything from you. The young biologist, Milo, whispered to his colleague. He looks real and huge. Is he even human? The giant cowboy's gaze fell on them. Human enough, he said. But strong enough? That's another question. Despite the mysterious aura surrounding him, the crew knew one thing. If he had been here all this time, he must know the land better than anyone else. And if they wanted to survive, they would need to listen. All right, Captain Singh said. Show us the way. They followed him across the sands. At first, the terrain seemed easy as smooth dunes and shallow valleys. But as the sun climbed higher, the land revealed its true nature. The sand shifted under their boots, the wind bit at their faces, and the heat shimmered in waves. Cyrenin was alive in a way humans had not expected. It tested patience and focus. The giant cowboy walked effortlessly, as though the planet bent to his steps. Keep your eyes open, he said. The land will try to trick you. What looks flat may hide a pit. What seems safe may not be. You'll learn fast, or you'll fall behind. The crew learned fast. Using ropes, grappling hooks, and careful teamwork, They navigated their first set of dunes. Each challenge, though small, felt like a victory. Captain Singh noted how quickly humans adapted, how clever ideas came from the most unexpected crew members. Milo rigged a small drone to scout ahead. The engineers built improvised supports from alien minerals. Every solution seemed to spark a ripple of awe across the group. By late afternoon, they reached a ridge overlooking a vast canyon. The colors of the rock were unlike anything they had studied from orbit fiery oranges. Deep purples and glimmers of metallic veins running through the stone. Wind gusted fiercely, carrying a fine dust that sparkled in the sunlight. The giant cowboy stopped and leaned on his staff. "Here," he said, "is where the land begins to show its teeth. You'll need every bit of strength, wit, and patience to cross what lies ahead." Captain Singh surveyed the canyon. It stretched farther than the eye could see, the walls steep and jagged. A river of iridescent liquid snaked through the bottom, glinting like molten glass. "We can do it," she said, more to herself than anyone else. The crew nodded, though tension hummed beneath their determination. Night fell quickly on Sierranine, faster than humans were used to. The crew gathered near a small cluster of alien plants that glowed faintly in the dark, providing soft light. They shared a simple meal and recounted the day's discoveries. The giant cowboy sat apart, watching silently. Captain Singh approached him. "Why are you here?" she asked. "No one lives out here permanently. You must have a reason." He looked up at the stars. "I came when humans first arrived," he said. "Some called me legend, some called me fool. I stay because someone has to know this land, to understand it, and to remind others. It doesn't give itself freely. You'll need to earn every step." Milo, ever curious, ventured a question. "Have you always been like this? So capable?" The giant cowboy chuckled softly. "Capability isn't born. It's built. Step by step, inch by inch. That's what Sierranine teaches. You'll understand soon enough." The crew listened, feeling both inspired and daunted. Humans prided themselves on adaptability, but here, on this wild planet, every skill mattered. Every mistake could cost dearly. Yet, there was a spark of excitement. They were on the frontier, testing limits they had only imagined in simulations and training exercises. Morning came with the first. Light painting the canyon in shades of gold and violet. Captain Singh checked the crew's equipment. "Today, we see what we're really made of," she said. There was no fear in her voice, only determination. The giant cowboy led them down a narrow path along the canyon's edge. At times, the path was so thin that one misstep could mean a long, dangerous fall. The wind whipped around them, and strange creatures scuttled in and out of view, watching silently. Yet, humans pressed forward, helping one another across tricky sections, offering hands and rope, sharing encouragement. Hours later, they reached a plateau halfway down the canyon. Exhausted but exhilarated, they paused to drink, catch their breath, and record data. Captain Singh smiled. "We're learning fast," she said. "Faster than I expected?" The giant cowboy nodded. "Good. You'll need that speed, that thinking, and that courage. Sierranine doesn't wait for anyone." That night, as they set up camp under the alien sky, Captain Singh stood a little apart from the group. She gazed at the stars, thinking of all the challenges ahead. This was not just a mission of exploration. It was a test of endurance, ingenuity, and teamwork. And somehow, she felt certain humans were ready to take on whatever Sierranine could throw at them. The giant cowboy, standing a little way off, tilted his head toward her. "Remember what I said?" he murmured, almost to himself. "Every inch, every step, until you can't walk. Only then do you know the land and yourself." And with that, the humans, guided by a legend, prepared for the journey that would push them further than they had ever imagined. Sierranine was no ordinary planet, and the adventure had only just begun. Asterisk. The sun rose slowly over Sierranine, painting the canyon walls in shades of orange and violet. The wind had calmed during the night, leaving the air clear and crisp. Captain Alara Singh checked her crew as they packed up their camp. Faces were weary, but determination burned in every eye. Yesterday had been a taste of the planet's challenges, and today promised even more. The giant cowboy waited at the edge of the plateau. His tall figure seemed carved from the canyon itself, sturdy and unyielding. "Follow me," he said, his deep voice calm but commanding. The real test begins now. The path ahead was steep. The canyon narrowed, walls rising like ancient towers and jagged rocks jutted out unpredictably. The crew moved carefully, adjusting their pace to avoid slips and injuries. Even with the ropes and harnesses they had brought, Sierranine demanded attention at every step. Milo, the biologist, crouched to examine a glowing plant clinging to a rock face. "Captain, these plants, they seem almost alive," he said, pointing to tiny tendrils that shifted in the wind. "They respond to touch." Alara nodded. Noted, "Let's observe without disturbing them too much. This planet is teaching us patience as well as endurance." The giant cowboy walked ahead with ease, occasionally glancing back. "Do not underestimate this land. It gives beauty, but it also tests strength. You'll need both." As they descended into the canyon, the terrain grew more unpredictable. Loose stones slid beneath their boots and narrow ledges forced careful footwork. Milo and another crew member, Tessa, worked together to secure a rope across a wide gap. Tessa tied knots carefully, while Milo adjusted the anchor points. Both aware that one mistake could set them back hours or worse. Humans are clever. The giant cowboy said quietly, almost to himself. "You adapt where others fail. But cleverness is only half the battle. You must endure." By midday, the crew reached a broad, flat section of the canyon. Here, strange crystalline formations jutted from the ground, catching sunlight in dazzling flashes. The air smelled faintly sweet, like ripened fruit mixed with minerals. "Data point," Milo said, scanning the crystals with a portable analyzer. "They're not just decorative. They store energy, light energy, it seems. And the readings are unusual? Unusual how?" Tessa asked. "Like the energy is. Responsive? It changes when we move near it. Almost like it's aware of us." Captain Singh frowned. "Stay cautious. Observation is fine, but don't touch them recklessly. We're visitors here, not owners." As the crew explored the flat, the canyon began to shift. A low rumble echoed from deep below, and tiny pebbles rolled across the crystalline surface. The team instinctively paused, scanning for danger. "Don't panic," the giant cowboy said, though his eyes were sharp. "The land moves, but it does not act without reason. Watch, feel, and respond. That is the way to survive," he demonstrated by stepping lightly across a particularly tricky section of crystal, letting his long stride carry him over unstable patches without faltering. The humans followed, mimicking his balance and care. Slowly, steadily, they crossed the area, improving their patience and adaptability. Hours passed, and the canyon revealed new wonders. Bioluminescent vines crept along walls, glowing faintly in pockets of shadow. Small, winged creatures darted through shafts of sunlight, their scales shimmering with metallic colors. Every discovery reminded the crew that Sierranine was alive in ways they could barely understand. By late afternoon, they approached a sheer cliff. The giant cowboy stopped and pointed upward. "The next climb will be hard, not because it is impossible, but because it demands focus, skill, and trust in each other." The humans readied climbing gear, anchoring ropes to natural formations and using alien minerals as improvised grips. Captain Singh led the first ascent, demonstrating careful foot placement and encouraging her team. Slowly, one by one, they scaled the cliff, supporting one another and communicating every step. Halfway up, Aloe slipped on a loose stone, but Tessa caught him with a quick lunge and rope maneuver. "Thanks," he said, breathless but smiling. "I guess the giant cowboy was right. We need each other here." "Yes," the cowboy said, his voice carrying from the top of the cliff. "Strength alone is not enough. You must work as one." At the summit, the crew paused to rest. Below them stretched a new valley, even wider than the one before. Mist rose from rivers that glittered like liquid metal, and distant peaks loomed, jagged and awe-inspiring. Sierranine was vast, beautiful, and relentless. The giant cowboy finally spoke at length. Many come here thinking only of conquest. They wish to take, to claim. But this planet does not reward greed. It rewards patience, courage, and cleverness. Every inch you walk, every step you take, shapes you. Captain Singh listened carefully, sensing the deeper meaning. Humans had always been explorers, but Sierranine demanded more than curiosity. It demanded endurance, intelligence, and unity. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the crew began their descent into the new valley. Strange sounds echoed from the rocks like distant laughter, or perhaps the wind, but it reminded them they were not alone. Every shadow seemed alive, every ridge potentially hiding a new challenge. Milo and Tessa examined a cluster of alien plants along the path. The vines shifted gently, as if responding to their presence. "It's incredible," Milo said. "They sense movement. Maybe they communicate. Maybe they just respond to energy," Tessa said cautiously. "Either way, it's a reminder that this world is not ours. We must respect it." The giant cowboy nodded in approval. "Respect is survival. You've learned this fast. Few do." Evening settled over the valley. The humans set up a small camp on a ledge overlooking the river below. They shared a modest meal, their conversation buzzing with excitement and tired relief. Each day on Sierra 9 pushed them to their limits, but it also strengthened their bond. They relied on one another, celebrated small victories, and learned the true meaning of teamwork. As the crew rested, Captain Singh approached the giant cowboy. "Do you ever get tired?" she asked. "Of walking, of exploring, of surviving out here alone?" He looked at her, eyes reflecting the last rays of sunlight. "I am not alone," he said. "The land is my companion, the challenge is my teacher. Humans, you are something new. You remind me that endurance is more than muscle. It is spirit, cleverness, and heart." Captain Singh smiled. "Then I suppose we still have a lot to learn." "Yes," he said, tipping his hat slightly. "And Sierranine will not let you forget it. Take every inch, learn every lesson, and remember this: your limits are not fixed. They grow with your courage and ingenuity." Night fell completely, blanketing the valley in darkness. Stars sparkled overhead, and the river below glowed faintly from bioluminescent organisms. The humans slept, exhausted but ready, dreaming of what the next day would bring. Even in rest, the crew felt the lessons of the day. Sierra 9 had tested them not with danger or violence, but with demands of patience, skill, and adaptability. Every climb, every careful step, had reminded them that human endurance was more than physical. It was intelligence, teamwork, and willpower combined. The giant cowboy remained awake a while longer, leaning on his staff. He surveyed the valley, watching over the humans who were slowly becoming the explorers he had hoped to meet. "Yes," he murmured softly, "they will take every inch. They will endure, and they will surprise even themselves." In the quiet of Sierranine's night, the first true sense of adventure began. The humans were learning fast, but the planet still had many secrets. Each day would bring new trials, new wonders, and new opportunities to test the limits of ingenuity, courage, and endurance, and the giant cowboy. Legend of the land would guide them, silently teaching lessons that no manual, map, or simulation could ever show. The morning sun spilled golden light over the valley, illuminating the alien river below. Captain Alara Singh gathered her crew, checking their supplies and equipment. Yesterday's climbs had exhausted them, but the excitement in their eyes showed one thing clearly: humans were made for challenges. Every step, every careful movement, every solution they had discovered reminded them of their resilience. The giant cowboy stood at the edge of their camp, arms folded, observing silently. He did not need to speak. His presence was enough to remind the crew of the path ahead. He had led them through the canyon's first trials, teaching them the lessons of patience, ingenuity, and teamwork. Today, the challenges would grow deeper. The humans would discover that Sierra 9 was not merely a land to cross, it was a puzzle to understand. Stay close. the cowboy finally said. There are places in this valley that test more than strength. You will need your mind as much as your hands. The crew set off, following a narrow trail along the riverbank. The water shimmered with faint blue light, hinting at minerals or organisms unknown to human science. Milo, the biologist, bent down frequently to collect samples, his curiosity driving him forward despite the long trek. Captain, he said, I've never seen a river behave like this. It reacts to light and heat, almost intelligent. Captain Singh smiled. That's why we are here, Milo, to learn, observe, and adapt. Everything we see on Sierra 9 is a lesson. Ours passed as the team wound along the valley. The giant cowboy occasionally pointed out subtle features of the land cracks that might collapse. Overhangs where creatures could hide and plants that could provide shelter or sustenance. His knowledge was vast, gained through decades of exploration, and the humans soaked in every detail. Then they saw it. Half buried in a slope of shimmering stone. A structure jutted from the canyon like a relic from another age. It was massive, tall, angular, and metallic, with surfaces that reflected light in strange patterns. The humans froze, staring at the sheer scale of it. This was no natural formation. The air hummed faintly, as if the structure itself was alive. The giant cowboy gestured toward it. That, humans, is what most come to Sierra 9 seeking but never find. A construct from a species older than we can imagine. It waits for those willing to understand it. Captain Singh led the crew forward cautiously. Stay alert. Observe everything. Touch nothing yet. As they approached, the surface of the structure shifted slightly. Panels moved in subtle, deliberate ways, almost as if the building itself was aware of their presence. Milo reached out, but the cowboy caught his arm gently. Wait, he said. Observe first. Let it tell you what it wants. The humans spread out along the edge of the structure, scanning and analyzing. Data flowed into their devices' energy readings, structural composition, faint electromagnetic signals. Tessa, the engineer, studied the panels. It's like a machine, but also organic. I can't tell where technology ends and life begins, Milo added, and it responds to us. Look at the readings. They change when we move closer or when we speak. Captain Singh took a deep breath. Then we must proceed carefully. This is not a test of strength. It is a test of wit, teamwork, and understanding. The cowboy stepped forward, demonstrating the first approach. He touched a panel with his staff, and the surface shifted again, opening a small doorway. It senses intent, he explained. Do not try to force it. Listen, watch, and act together. The humans entered the doorway cautiously. Inside, the structure's interior was vast and dimly lit, with walls that glimmered as if made of liquid metal. Strange patterns moved across the surfaces, forming symbols that no human could immediately understand. A low hum filled the space, vibrating in their bones. And yet it was not threatening. This is incredible, Milo whispered. I've never seen technology like this. It's alive? The crew moved carefully, exploring room by room. Some chambers contained machinery that pulsed rhythmically. Others held strange artifacts resembling tools or instruments from a civilization long gone. Every step required observation, experimentation, and collaboration. One false move could deactivate pathways or lock doors, forcing the humans to rethink their approach. Hours passed. The crew discovered that the structure was indeed a test, but not of physical strength. Panels and corridors responded to logic, pattern recognition, and teamwork. They had to solve sequences, align energy conduits, and interpret the symbols on the walls. Every successful step rewarded them with access to the next room. Every misstep caused the lights to flicker, forcing them to pause and reevaluate. The giant cowboy observed silently, his eyes sharp and approving. This is what I meant when I said Sierra 9 tests mind as well as body. Humans can endure, but here, endurance alone will not suffice. Captain Singh coordinated the team. Milo analyzed the symbols. Tessa, check energy conduits. Others, map our path. We moved together. Every inch, Every step, we proceed as one. As the day turned to evening, they reached a central chamber. In its center floated a glowing sphere, pulsing with energy. Panels surrounding it displayed complex patterns, almost like a language waiting to be understood. The humans gathered around, exhausted but exhilarated. "This is it," the giant cowboy said. "The heart of the structure. Understand it, and you will unlock its knowledge. Misstep, and you will have to start again." Captain Singh studied the sphere. "It's responding to our movements, to our thoughts. We have to work together. Everyone, stay focused," using clues from the walls. Milo and Tessa began aligning energy conduits, while other crew members carefully moved panels and pressed symbols and sequences. Slowly, methodically, the room responded. The sphere's glow intensified, and the hum became harmonious, filling the chamber with a resonant vibration. Hours of collaboration, trial, and adjustment passed. At last, with a careful final move, the sphere's energy spread through the room, illuminating patterns on the walls. Symbols translated into a recognizable sequence, a message, a map, and schematics of advanced technology that could enhance human capabilities. The crew gasped. This was knowledge beyond anything humanity had seen. It was the reward Sierranine had offered, and they had earned it not through force, but through intelligence, cooperation, and perseverance. The giant cowboy smiled. "You have done well. You have taken every inch of this challenge, and you have not faltered. This is what humans are capable of when they face the unknown together." Captain Singh approached the sphere carefully. This could change everything. Energy sources, technology, even understanding of life itself. "And we did it as a team," the cowboy nodded. "Remember this feeling? You were tested here, and you succeeded. But Sierranine has many more lessons ahead. Strength alone will not carry you. Ingenuity, patience, and unity will define your path." The humans spent the night in the central chamber, examining the data and discussing their discoveries. Each revelation deepened their understanding of the planet, its history, and the potential it offered to humanity. Even in rest, their minds worked tirelessly. Analyzing patterns and preparing for the next day's challenges, the giant cowboy remained near the sphere, reflecting on the humans before him. "They have endurance," he murmured. "They have courage. But more importantly, they have heart, and they think as one. That is what makes them extraordinary." When morning came, the crew prepared to continue their exploration. The canyon beyond the structure stretched wide, filled with new mysteries. Rivers of liquid light, towering cliffs, and glowing flora awaited. The humans were ready, stronger now, and wiser for the trials inside the ancient construct. Captain Singh gathered the team. "We faced the first true test of Sierranine, and we passed. But there is still more to discover. Every step, every inch teaches us something new. Let's keep moving, together." The giant cowboy tipped his hat. "Yes, and remember, this planet does not reveal all at once. Patience and observation will reward you more than haste ever could. Sierranine is alive. Learn its lessons, respect its ways, and it will guide you." With renewed determination, the humans stepped back into the canyon. Their journey continued, not just across the land, but into the depths of human potential. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of ingenuity and teamwork strengthened their resolve. Sierranine was formidable, but humanity was unstoppable. And the giant cowboy, legend of the land, followed silently, ready to guide them through the next test. Knowing that humans would continue to surprise even him,